All right, today we are going to chat about the future of the online fitness industry, specifically online fitness coaching. And we're here with Nathalia Melo, who is one of the most successful online fitness coaches for females who really want to up-level and look sexy AF. And she's built an incredible organization. So I've also had the pleasure and honor to work with Nathalia the last couple of years. So I can testify to this thing that she's about to share is stuff that she's implementing, applying, that's producing results. Nathalia, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I think that, we were kind of talking before. Entrepreneurship is a constant growth and a constant learning, and trying to stabilize things as much as you can, because by definition, there is going to be some, ups and downs, but how can you minimize the impacts of the highs and the lows? Absolutely.
So let's sum up 2024, because it's going to give context to like what we're talking about, what we see as 3 key levers that are going to really help people have more fun, have more profits, have better client results, be a better business owner. How would you sum up 2024 though, which is like really setting up where you're going in 2025?
I think 2024 for me was a big learning experience. I think whenever you own your business and you're doing well, it's very easy it's kind of like your fitness. Mm-hmm. You start to become a bit complacent, and then you try to, look for the shiny object and try to complicate stuff, which it's funny because that's a lot of the stuff that we tell our members, our clients, stick to the, be consistent with the basics. And I caught myself in the business side trying to, the shiny object syndrome and trying to do all the things. And it kind of backfired, more so on the personal side, like me as an individual, I felt stuck because I was chasing all those things and I felt like I was not going anywhere.
Right.
And it was, my demographic is a very elevated demographic. I'm not, I'm working with highly educated women, with women who, a lot of times are the breadwinners in their house or big financial contributors in their household. And one of the lessons that I got from 2024 is that if I want to attract that audience, if I want to inspire that audience, I need to continuously work on myself. Because, how am I going to sit there and tell an attorney that earns $1,000 an hour the things that she needs to do if I am not leading by example on working on myself to better myself? So I find that a lot of mistakes that fitness professionals do is, they don't hire coaches.
Right.
They don't continue their education. Oh, I've been doing this for, almost 20 years. So I know everything. I'm sorry, but you don't.
Yeah. And at one point, it's got to be noted, I'm sure people recognize your name, but Nathalia was the #1 bikini model in the world and held the highest title, IFBB Pro, Bikini Pro, right?
Olympia champion.
Olympia champion.
Yeah.
For the record. So highest level in the game. So I see this a lot where a lot of people feel entitled to have success because, well, I've been in the game for 15 years. I've won all these shows. And frankly, nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit. Like, seriously, nobody cares. It's what can that do for the person who you're serving?
Right.
And, this year, my motto has been growth and alignment. And I also, caught myself trying to fit the status quo.
Yeah.
And instead of putting myself in rooms that were aligned with my ultimate goal, which then by default made me grow, I played a little bit small by surrounding myself with people that wanted to talk about the weather. And I'm not a small talk kind of person. I fucking hate it. Hate it.
Not at all.
Let's talk about how we can change the world. And I'm like, that's my kind of talk.
You're not asking Nathalia about the weather when you see her. Let's get to the point here. Okay, so we talked about you're working with people further along and you're leading them by example. What does that look like versus like kind of telling them what to do? How have you, like just a couple practical things that you've done that really indicate that you're growing?
Continue to work with coaches. And I think, I've been fitness for 26, 27 years. I have a coach.
For fitness too?
Yes. Yeah. I have a fitness coach.
Very cool.
And, if he tells me something, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's like, jump. I'm like, how high?
Yeah. What's the biggest benefit you get from your coach? Just out of curiosity.
I learned how to be coachable.
And that's fantastic because you can't lead if you don't know how to follow.
Yeah. So I learned how to be coachable. And I think that also he allows me to see the thing, like he's not perfect.
Right.
He's amazing, but he's not perfect. So I get to learn what are the things that, like, as somebody who is receiving a kind of service, what are the things that I would do differently? I'm not saying that anybody has to do things differently, but how would I do it? So I think he allows me to see things from a different perspective. Also, being in business for a long time, I have a business coach.
Yeah.
And the continuous education, I just, applied for a course through Harvard Medical School.
Oh, cool.
Because I do think that it is important for me to continue to grow, especially in the fitness space that is continuously expanding and, you got
to stay on the game. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's point number one. Let's talk about we have 2 more points to chat about. So the second thing that you've really shifted towards, we made notes, guys, just to respect your, we're both we're both ramblers here. So
connection.
Okay, connection versus what? So 2024 was the year of what were you playing with, messing around with, versus what are we doubling down on 2025?
I think that, with still on the tail end of COVID and the pandemic, I feel like more and more people are craving that connection, and not just for a long time, it was talked about automate. And I think that automation is great, but especially in an era of AI, you cannot remove. That's why I'm not afraid as a fitness professional. I'm not afraid of AI. I think it's a phenomenal tool, but AI is never going to replace the emotional cue that we're able to get as good coaches about things that, people are struggling with, like read the room. The AI cannot read the room. Right. So keeping that connection and removing a lot of automation and truly being like, how are you doing? Right. Like, how is your family doing?
Absolutely.
And I think that, we get so caught up on, and even with my team, not just with my, our members in the Powerhouse Academy, but even with my team to, take the time to be like, how are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. You've done a great job at that. And I know you've, really made yourself uncomfortable to pursue conversations, which is a natural part of business where, you've got to rein some people in if they might be drifting out, and you got to emotionally, it takes a lot of bandwidth. You're a mom, you got kids, you have a husband, do that as well in business. It's required if you want to have ultimate freedom where a team can actually help you run the business when you're not around. So have you seen the payoff of that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I adore my team. I'm really proud of the team that we have created. And I, with this connection, I have also been able to clarify my vision and mission, which then allows to build more connection, not only with my team now, but my team with our members, because everybody's on the same page. And it's still on the topic of connection, attending in-person stuff. We hosted our in-person event last year, which it was terrifying to me because I struggled to freaking organize a birthday party for my 7-year-old. But people are craving, like I'm craving that human interaction. I think that that's where a lot of nice conversations are had. And locally, especially if you live near a big metro, attending networking events, shaking hands and holding babies and talking to people it's a lost skill, especially with social media.
It gives you a lot of stability and comfort too, knowing that if God forbid shit hit the fan, you lost your business, you had to start all over. But one thing you will never lose is your relationships, unless you screw people over. But if you're a good person and you always have your relationships, there'll always be an opportunity or somebody who could help you get back up to speed. So would that be your third thing, really focusing on collaborations? Yeah.
And can I just add one thing for
to talk about the connections?
The connection, just one last thing. It's interesting because I would consider myself to be a very outgoing person. I can, talk to most people. Networking events are terrifying when you don't know anybody.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
It depends. If I'm in my element, here's my space. I know people, I'll run with it. But whenever you get placed in a room with people from a lot of different backgrounds, that is more business driven, a chamber meeting or whatever that is. I was terrified. People are like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, fuck, what do I do? I couldn't.
I'm a personal trainer.
So it was also, it's being a very good, uncomfortable situation to put myself in, because I can kind of see myself getting very comfortable with being behind the screen, but not speaking to people. So it's this level of connection, which also speeds up the know, like, and trust factor.
Right. Okay. So did you have a third point? Collaboration?
Collaboration, yeah.
Yeah, collaboration. So what would you say if you're not collaborating, what are you doing? Which is like the old way, the new ways. Collaboration. Are you talking about also collaboration in terms, like, define it for me? Is that like creating content with other people? Is it going to events? But how do you see that?
I think it's a bit like it's all of it. I think that, reaching out to people that you appreciate their work and being like, oh my goodness, I love your work. Would you like to come on my podcast? Can I come on your podcast? Yeah. I think that I have something to add. Yeah. And even within my team, collaborating within my team, like, for example, my head coach she's a licensed counselor. Yeah. So how can I collaborate with her and open a platform for her to expand her interest within the environment that we already have? So now we have a series where every month she comes on my podcast and we have conversations. Cool. So, this level of collaboration as well, and attending events and meeting people that I can also collaborate with.
Love it.
Because that also allows you to expand your network within the fitness industry too. Yeah,
we had a buddy last night. I saw him connect you with another highly recognized, respectable person in the industry who's got a great podcast, and he's going to bring you on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't have happened if you weren't in the room and he wasn't in the room and the other guy wasn't in the room. Say, hey, let me connect you with so-and-so. Hey, so-and-so, you need to bring her on the podcast. I was just sitting here watching that happen. He's like, yeah, sure. Then you guys talked at dinner.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And it's different. Like, for example, obviously I've had luck, like messaging people and being like, hey, I love your work. I'd love to be on your podcast because I can add X, Y, and Z. But it is very different when you talk to the person on a personal level.
Right.
How are your kids? Oh, what do they do? Where do you guys go? And it also allows you to be human.
Yes.
Which I think I love social media. Love it. I think it's a great tool. You get to meet a lot of nice people, but nothing, I think, beats that more human interaction that is beyond business.
Last question. How do you handle the fear of rejection? When you put yourself out there, hey, you want to come on my show? Like, we make it sound so easy. Just say the line, everyone's going to say yes. But the truth is that doesn't always happen. So how do you put yourself out there and just manage that?
I mean, I think it's hard. Like, anybody that says it's like, oh, I don't care. No, you do care.
Of course.
But I do think that because I've already gotten so much pushback in a lot of the content that I have, my skin has grown thicker and thicker by the second. And the way I look at it is the worst that can happen is a no, but a no is already a given if I don't ask.
Yeah.
And also, don't just be like, hey, can I be on your podcast? Because what value are you adding? Mm-hmm. Like, go above and beyond. Listen to the person's podcast.
I love it. Yeah.
Like, the person that we are discussing here, I was like, I would love to be on your podcast. I love the episode that you did with this person. Mm-hmm. And most people would end the conversation there. But the guy looked at me. He was like, what did you like about it?
Ooh.
Had I not actually listened to it, I would be like, and then I would look like a fool.
Oh, of course.
So, really connect with people who are aligned.
I'm sure you guys don't make that mistake.
Yeah. Like, and he got me a bit off guard. He was like, oh, nice. What did you like about it? I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, hold on a second. Let me get my notes.
Yeah, no kidding. No, you can't. Yeah, exactly. So people want to see exactly. People want to see if you're the real deal, if they can trust you. Like, people are open to doing business together and building relationships, but you've got to show that, like, hey, I'm somebody who's not just trying to, create a transactional relationship here.
Yeah.
Last question. I'd be crazy not to ask you. Just, you're doing such a phenomenal job with your content. You said your skin has been toughened up just by what you put out there. Advice to somebody who needs to step into their authentic self. 𝗲𝘂𝗲𝗀 had a great quote that really deeply resonated. He said, authenticity is saying what you would say if there was no consequences. Mm-hmm. I think you figured that out.
Yeah.
Just how was that a natural process for you? Or is that the Brazilian fire? Or how would you guide somebody who's just filtering everything, worried about my mom is watching this, etc.? Like, that's a real fear for people to actually say, and they just stay in this know-how, boring information, sterile content.
The 4 C's from Dan Sullivan is commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. So in order for you to do something like this and just not give a crap about what people are saying, you have to have confidence.
Right.
But people are expecting to start something and have the confidence. But first you have to have the courage, and you have to have the capability, and you have to have all those other things that come before it. And whenever many people try to create this kind of content, they don't even know who they are. They don't know what they stand for. They don't know what are the hills that they're willing to die on, which is very similar to the conversation that we had yesterday. So trying to put yourself as a authentic self out there when you don't even know what the authentic looks like, then you're going to fall for anything, because you don't, you don't know. Like people who talk about my accent, I don't give a shit about it, because I have the confidence.
What do they say?
She doesn't know how to speak English. And I'm like, that's cute. I've been in the top podcast in the world and nobody seems to care.
People actually say that? That's so funny. You have to know, like, nobody who has a bigger house than you is going to knock somebody who's got a smaller house. Nobody who's got more money in the bank is going to knock somebody who's got less money. You know what I mean? It always comes from the what do you call it? The nosebleed section, right?
Yeah.
It never comes from somebody you actually care about in real life, ever.
So if I were to get all delicate every time that people say that, it would be very difficult for me to show up as my true self. Or somebody that comes like, oh, you have Botox. I'm like, damn right I do. I make posts about it.
Yeah.
So it's really owning the things, and sometimes even getting like ahead of it.
Right.
So whenever people talk about it, it's like you're stating the obvious. Everybody already knows this because you're truly living in your authentic self. And what you're talking about there is like trying to fit in other people's box. It's also like Dan Sullivan, the need and want concept. People always, if you're always needing things, you're always trying to justify why you want certain things. And then by default, you're putting yourself in people's box. It's kind of like, why do you want to have a six pack? You already look great. I don't need it, but I want it. I want it because because.
Right.
And that is something that I experienced a lot, being an immigrant, moving from here or from Brazil to here. But why do you need to do that? Like, because I want it. There was, and now I'm able to have a life that is completely outside the realm of possibilities from the same people that asked me why I wanted to do it. So I think that that's a big thing. People are scared of making other people around them uncomfortable with their big dreams. Yeah,
that's great. Fantastic. Nathalia, amazing. Where can people check out your social media? What are you doing?
I'm on the grams. Nathalia Melo Fit. Nathalia is with TH. My mom tried to get, creative. It's a mess now with my social. Melo is just with one L.
I like Nathalia, how you spell it.
I like it too, but it's hard.
I actually like this. I like this more than what the formal way would be.
I know, but it's like I always have to explain to people, and I have whenever I have to spell
Some
it.
people say Nathalia. It's Nathalia.
Yeah. I also have a podcast, Unfiltered Fit Life podcast, and I work with busy female professionals who are trying to look and feel hot as fuck.
I love it. She said it for me. I didn't have to swear on my own.
I would do that. I'll do that for you.
Sorry, I'm not offended. I grew up on mafia movies. We're good.
The Godfather.
Godfather, Bronx Tale, Casino. I've seen them all in one night. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what your favorite takeaway was below, and we'll see you next time. Level up or level off. Ciao, ciao.